In the cold, silent heart of Russia's Ural Mountains, there is a place locals fear. A place they whisper about, but rarely dare to enter. A place that has carried the same name for more than half a century, the Dyatlov Pass. And tonight, I'm taking you back to February of 1959, to the moment when 9 experienced hikers stepped into those mountains, never knowing that they were walking straight into one of the most terrifying and unexplained mysteries in modern history. It was supposed to be a simple adventure. 9 hikers from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, strong, skilled, disciplined, led by Igor Dyatlov, a determined and respected young man. Their goal? A challenging winter expedition that would push their limits and earn them the highest level hiking certification. These were not amateurs. They had done brutal expeditions before. They knew the mountains. They knew the cold. They knew the risks. But what they didn't know is that something out there was waiting for them. The group started their trek in late January. They laughed, they took photos, they kept a detailed journal. Everything seemed normal. Even the stormy wind and harsh snow couldn't break their spirit. One of the hikers, Yuri Yudin, fell ill early in the trip and had to turn back. He said goodbye to his friends, not realizing he would be the last person to see them alive. The remaining 9 pushed deeper into the Ural wilderness. As the weather worsened, they became lost and ended up camping on the side of a mountain the local tribes called Kholat Syakhl, the Mountain of the Dead. When the hikers failed to return on schedule, a search team went out. What they found felt like the scene of a nightmare. The first thing discovered was the tent. Still standing, still filled with the group's belongings, but slashed open from the inside. Clothes, boots, jackets, everything was still there, untouched. It looked as if the hikers had fled in a blind panic into a negative 30 degrees Celsius blizzard, half naked. Searchers followed the footprints leading away from the tent. Bare feet, socks, 1 foot with a single boot. Something had terrified them so badly, they didn't even stop to dress. The first 2 bodies were found near the tree line. They were lying beside the remains of a small fire. Their hands burned, as if they had desperately tried to pull burning branches out of the flames. But the strangest detail? They were in their underwear. More bodies were found scattered between the tree line and the tent, positioned as though they were trying to crawl their way back, collapsing one by one in the snow. But the last 4 bodies took this mystery to another level. 2 months later, the final 4 were found in a ravine. They were better dressed, suggesting they had taken clothes from the others. But their injuries were not caused by falling, not by animals, and not by hypothermia. One had a crushed chest with force equal to a car crash. Another had a fractured skull so severe it should have been fatal instantly. One woman was missing her tongue, her eyes, and part of her lips, and yet closer examination revealed no external wounds. no bruises, no scratches, as if the injuries had come from intense pressure, not impact. Medical examiners were confused. Military investigators were confused. Everyone was confused. Here are the theories that people still debate today. 1. Avalanche. But an avalanche wouldn't explain the clean footprints, the severe internal injuries, the tent being cut from inside, the hikers running in different directions. 2. Military experiments. The area was known for secret weapons tests. Some say the group saw something they shouldn't have. But again, there were no burns, no chemical traces, no bullet wounds. 3. Infrasound. Panic. A strange wind pattern could have generated low-frequency sound waves that cause uncontrollable fear and confusion. Maybe they panicked and ran. But that still doesn't explain the violent injuries. 4. Yeti or animal attack. The Soviet investigation briefly suggested it. But there were no bite marks, no tracks, no blood, nothing. 5. Something unnatural. Strange lights were reported in the sky around the time of the incident. Spherical orange lights, moving silently over the mountains. Some believe the hikers witnessed something unexplainable, something that terrified them into running for their lives. Now imagine this moment through their eyes. The wind howling, the mountain shaking under the storm. Then something outside the tent. A sound, a vibration, a light. Something that makes 9 experienced hikers slice their way out and run barefoot into the snow. They split into 3 groups. Some try to make a fire. Some attempt to climb back toward the tent. Some rush toward the forest, trying to hide. They freeze. They collapse. Some suffer impossible injuries. Some simply disappear under the snow. Their journal entries end abruptly. Their last photos show glowing orbs in the sky. And to this day, no one can explain what really happened. The Dyatlov Pass incident is more than a story. It's a wound carved into the history of the Ural Mountains, a mystery that refuses to die. Experts have theories, witnesses have memories, but the mountain still keeps its secrets. And maybe that's why this story continues to haunt us. Because 9 hikers walked into the wilderness, and whatever they saw out there, whatever they heard, whatever terrified them so deeply, it never came back with them.